Hello, I'm Dr. Karen Hiltz, and I want to welcome you to another session of the Apple Report. This week we're going to talk about alternatives, or school choice, or parental choice, or learning environment options, however you want to refer to it. But let's start with the discussion, an overall discussion. First of all, there are really three types of education in the United States. There's public school, there's private school, and there's homeschool. Now, when you hear about school choice or alternatives to traditional public education, 90 to 95% of those choices fall under the umbrella of public education. For example, let's talk about the different alternatives or school choice programs that you may or may not have heard about. Charter schools. Usually you'll come across articles with regards to charter schools if you read about education. Now there's education savings accounts, and there's different programs that are labeled education savings accounts. We mentioned homeschooling. There is also what's called open enrollment or inter or intra-district transfers, and we'll go into that in a little more detail a little later on. And then there's things called tax credits. Some of them are individual or private tax credit programs, and some of them are scholarship tax credit programs or scholarship programs. And then, of course, there's vouchers. And so let's kind of talk about this from a broad-based perspective. Let's begin the discussion with regards to what falls under the public education system. A lot of times you'll hear the discussion that there's the traditional public education, and that's what we have today, K-12, that's elementary school, middle school, high school. And then when we talk about charters, a lot of people think that charters are something private school or something different. Well, charters are really part of the public education system. If you look at the states, and those states that do authorize charter school, it's a legislated program. So you will find criteria within the statute or the code of that state. And charter schools are a school that is created for a particular purpose. For example, there may be a STEM charter school, science, technology, engineering, and math. They will build their charter and get it approved through the approving authorities within the state. And their focus will be on educating children on the basics, but also their focus will be on curriculum that supports STEM programs. You may have an arts charter school. Again, the charter has to be approved and authorized by the approving authorities within the state, but their curriculum will have the basics, and then their focus will be on the arts, whether it can be a combination of music, painting, sculpting, those kinds of things, choir, or it can be a little bit more focused. But there again, charter schools are basically public school, part of the public school system, but they just operate based on an approved or authorized charter. Now, I'm not saying there aren't any private charter schools, because there are a couple of them around the United States, but overall, when you hear charter school, it's part of the public school system. With regards to open enrollment, those are district transfers. They can be a transfer of a student within a district or division, school division, or they can go from one division to another. Now remember, there again, that is part of the public education system, and it not only is there the request, but there also has to be the approval of the request, and school districts, school divisions have the authority to deny requests. So they're again part of the public education system. Some of you may be familiar with what's known as governor schools. These are schools in some states where there is one specific regional school, and the other schools within that region will send their children, their students, that qualify to that governor's school. That, in essence, even though it's not called a charter school, that, in essence, a governor's school is like a charter school because its focus is on a particular curriculum. So when you hear about these types of options or school choice options, remember the majority of them are still within the realm of the public education system. If they are legislated, they, as a general rule, will fall under public education because there will be statutes or code that address those options and the requirements or the criteria that need to be met in order to authorize a student to participate in that particular program. So next week we'll go into a little bit more detail. I'd like to talk a little bit more about the variances with regards to tax credits and charter schools in particular, because those are two very relevant and topical options at this point in time in society. So again, please like and share. I hope you enjoyed this, and please give me feedback. Thank you. Have a great week.